a really good weekend for your squad to go over and play a road team, a good team like Alabama, and get the win. You have to be pretty pleased with how your team was this weekend.
Yeah, we've been playing pretty good here for a couple of weeks, and I thought we took that into Tuscaloosa and played great. Really played three pretty good games. So we lose the Saturday game to a really good arm, but I like the energy and the effort we brought all weekend.
As a coach, can you get a sense for your team when they're starting to play the way you want them to? Do you see things in practice? Do you see things in the locker room that say, okay, that they're starting to click the way we want?
I think so. It's a when you're going through those tough moments, you see it too, and you see the guys just not as much just coming to the ballpark playing a little more free and easier. Some of the pieces starting to fall into play, and some of those, some of our bullpen pieces have really been a big help here over this run. So I think those guys are starting to find their roles.
You made some changes in your lineup over the weekend, and it paid off. Sawyer Reeves has a great weekend for you at the plate. Garrick Fry has a good weekend at the plate and in the field. It feels like it's late in the season to be messing with the lineup and tinkering, but at the same time, you got to find those guys and put them in the right positions. Do you feel like your changes paid off, and are those changes going to become permanent fixtures at this point?
Well, I think they stay permanent for a while as long as kids play good. I think that's been an evolving door. You'd like to get the same effort you had last weekend, but I think you can't just sit back and not make changes when things aren't going well. So I think, those guys both played well this weekend. They had some tough times earlier in the year, and now they're, opportunities bounce back for them, and they worked really hard to get back out there and play good. But I thought they were both big pieces of the weekend.
I was telling Borky during the previous hour that, normally Sunday baseball in the SEC, that's a 12-10, 11-8 kind of game. This is back-to-back weekends. You guys have thrown two hitters on a Sunday afternoon. What has been the secret to the success of the Sundays these past couple weeks?
Well, I think Carson Ligon's a big piece of that. We're getting a really steady start. We're in the game there in the middle of the game. Our strength is our bullpen a little bit. So I think if we can get into those games, and Nate Williams, him and Stone Simmons this weekend came in and just dominated, and they didn't get anything from those two guys. And I think that they win games for you, in that process. Like Nate was just dominant. And so, I think those are probably some of the reasons. That's the strength of our ball club. We just haven't always been in that situation or opportunity than we've been, with Carson pitching so well the last 2 weeks.
You made another change earlier today, not in terms of your lineup, but in terms of pitching. You've had Noah Sullivan out there in those midweek games the past few weeks, and I thought he's pitched pretty well. But you announced earlier today that Ryan McPherson's going to get the start for you tomorrow against Southern University. Why the change in the midweek, or do you plan to, try to stretch McPherson out, maybe make him a part of your weekend plans?
Well, I think a little bit of everything. I think McPherson needs a start and needs to get out there and feel comfortable. You're probably going to still see a lot of arms tomorrow. Give Noah a week off. I felt like his stuff is kind of last week or so, just stuff that wasn't as good as it was earlier, and he's playing a ton right now. So giving his body a little bit of time off maybe for other starts down the road. But, McPherson deserves it too. He's done really well in our last two midweeks. And, you need other starter candidates. You got to get them opportunities to start.
How good did it feel for you, and I know it had to feel good for Ross, for Highfield to come in that situation, coming on a weekend where he's not behind the plate and deliver that pinch hit home run? He had to be incredibly excited when he got back to the dugout. Yeah,
he was fired up. We were all fired up for him. He had a good game, and he's a really good player. He's kind of had some struggles here, but kept his mind in the right place and was ready to play when his name was called. And that's what we need. I mean, he's that type of player. He's a really good player and can do some special things for us.
So we're at the halfway point of the SEC season. Obviously, you're not exactly where you would like to be, but at the same time, it feels like you can see a path that if we keep playing baseball like this, postseason baseball is going to come to this baseball team. I know, again, we talked about it last week. You have a number. You want to take it one game at a time. There's a lot of cliches at play, but right now you have to feel good about where your team is, don't you?
Yeah, I think we have like you said we have a path, and I think they understand that and they know that, and we can't do anything about what happened week one, right? Like there's nothing we can do. We don't get to go back and play it again. So we just have to go out and take care of it. And I don't care who you're playing or what you're playing. I know you're playing Texas or LSU or whoever, but it's just all good baseball in the league. You have to play good in this league. And we have to be ready to go Friday night. We got a good Florida team coming in for Easter weekend, and then we got to play good. And just keep trying to add wins into there. And I felt like this weekend we made up a little bit from maybe one of the weekends where we goofed early on.
Coach, I don't know if you know this or not, but I would have guessed if somebody had asked me, hey, what is the team that Coach Lemonis has the most wins against? I would have guessed Ole Miss, but it's actually Alabama. You have more wins against them than anybody else. Is there a reason that you've just been able to take it to the Crimson Tide so much?
I don't know. I had early in my career, I had those Alabama boys and Tanner Allen and Rowdy Jordan, and they were really always very fired up to play Alabama and Auburn. So I don't think they lost many games to those guys early. That may have got the momentum going. I kind of picked on Pico all week, like, hey, man, they didn't even recruit you. And that probably wasn't the case, but I'm just trying to fire him up, But, yeah, it's players. It's just, you have some teams you played against. We've played against some good teams. Alabama's actually, to me, they're really good right now. I mean, it was a good weekend for us because they're going to win a lot of games.
It's funny you mentioned Auburn. That's the team you have the third most wins against. So you hit on it.
Like, serious. Early in my career, those two guys were. Rowdy Jordan was so fired up. He broke his slump against Auburn every year. Remember,
Yeah.
That was where he had some big Auburn weekends. So it was always kind of the running joke with those two. They like playing the in-state schools.
Obviously, a big weekend coming up. You've got it would normally be Super Bulldog weekend with this spring game, but they've done it a little differently this year. You've got a 7:00 first pitch on a Saturday night. We always talk about Dudy Noble Field and the environment there. I don't remember the last time we had a night home game for a weekend on a Saturday. You might remember it better than me. That should be an incredible atmosphere this weekend, though.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, I would think you'd have a bunch of people in town, and yeah, TV sets that, I guess. I mean, or maybe it was set originally with Super Bulldog being on that. But the reality is, we'll show up and be ready to play whenever they call us. And Florida's a team that's trending. They're doing kind of what we're doing. The Texas A&M had the tough start. You have a couple of us, kind of starting to play really better. So it'll be a war this weekend. Florida's got a good team. They're well coached. They're always good. We're going to have to come out and get after it.
I asked Coach Ostrander this, and when we had him on, and we're just trying to be a little topical here, Coach. You know how Sports Talk Radio is. We try to get content. I'm sure you've seen the highlights of the Masters and Rory McIlroy and his reaction to finally winning that and getting that monkey off his back. You are a national championship winning coach. You know what it's like to win that final game of the season and have that moment where the emotions can sort of take over for you. Did you relate to him in that moment when you see the way he reacted to winning the Masters? Did it take you back to that moment in Omaha when you knew your team had won it all?
Actually, it didn't, but I get it. Like, I sat and watched it all. Me and my wife sat and watched him and hug his family, and I was kept waiting for him to find Shane Lowry, his best friend. Those are the moments you think about, though. Like, it is. It's very, it's pretty surreal. Because when you just know and I hadn't been here forever to build up like Rory had, but it is very surreal knowing you did something that, is really, really special. And that's what you're looking for, is family and friends to celebrate with. I can still remember all my college teammates above the dugout coming down on the field. I can still remember getting my family on the field. Like, it's kind of that walk that he did, but I drove home as fast as I could, and I got to my couch for a whole 19. And to get to watch it, so it was pretty special. I think the whole country was cheering for him.
Basically, looking at the ratings, Coach, you're probably not right on that one. So, or probably are right on that one. All right, I'll be in the press box for all 3 games this weekend, Coach. So we'll see if the streak continues.
That's good news, right?
That's it. We'll see if it continues. I see the pressure's on me. I'll do the best I can.